Hello, book besties. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Delaney if you are new here, and we are here with a super fun seasonal themed video for this week, and we are going to be reading pink books for an entire week in honor of Valentine's Day. Short disclaimer, ignore the appearance. I just finished a workout, so I'm not looking at my most prime, but I am really excited about this video, and I was like, I kind of just want to lay on the couch and read some books, and I thought it would be really a great time to get in the Valentine's Day spirit. It is currently February 5th, so we're about a week out from Valentine's Day, and I'm getting excited. I honestly think Valentine's Day is one of my favorite holidays, which is weird because this is the first year I'm ever going to have a Valentine in my entire life, but something about the day. Pink and red and hearts and love, and it's a day for the girls, you know? Like, I feel like Valentine's Day is for the girlies, and I love it. I love it so much. So I'm feeling festive, I'm feeling excited, and I want to kick off the Valentine's Day season reading pink books for an entire week. So this is fun because we're really just judging books by its cover at this point. So I do know the first book I'm going to read because it is actually also Valentine's Day themed, and that is The Fall Risk, I believe it's called, by Abby Jimenez. I don't own the physical copy. I don't even know if there is a physical copy. It is on Amazon Prime, Prime Reading, Kindle Unlimited, one of the above. It is free on my Kindle is all I know. I downloaded it last night. Haven't started it yet, but I'm really excited to start it. So that is what is going to kick off our video. It is a short story, so kind of a quick and easy one to just like get the ball rolling for our pink books. But I feel like it'll be a really great way to kick off this video because it is like specifically Valentine's Day themed. So that's where we're started. That's the plan for the week. I don't know entirely what we're going to be reading. I have a couple books on my radar that I know are pink just from looking at my shelves that I'm like, that would be a good one for this video. But I don't know exactly where we're headed yet. But the goal for the week is to just judge books by their cover, pick the cutest, pinkest, girliest books off my shelf and read them. And I'm excited. I'm excited about that. I do have a couple more meetings left in my workday. I have a meeting in about 9 minutes here, so I have to run, hop on a Zoom call, and hopefully after I wrap up my workday, should be done early this afternoon, I can dive into the Abby Jimenez book, and probably will crank that out pretty fast. I think it's like under 100 pages, so should be pretty short and sweet, but I will definitely update you as I read it and as I know more about it. I'm literally so excited for this. Anything pink, I am so there. Pink and books, it's just like the meshing of two of my favorite things in the world. So I am like over the moon excited about this week, and I will update you when I have updates. Hello y'all. So I have an update on The Fall Risk. I totally binged this book one sitting, all in bed last night. Yesterday was a snow day. Today was too a little bit, but it's warming up now. Snow is melting now, but I really just like leaned into the cozy vibes and pretty much just read the entire day, and I cranked out the short story, The Fall Risk, and it was so cute. So essentially the premise of this is there's two people that are on the same level of an apartment complex, and the construction crew basically comes in and steals their stairs. Yes, like literally steals the stairs down to the ground level of their apartment. So they are stranded on the second level of this apartment complex together over Valentine's Day. The female main character is dealing with a stalker situation, which, not to say too much because obvious reasons, but like I related very deeply to that, and the quotes that were in this book related to that were so relatable. Just about how like the legal system and the justice system kind of fails victims of stalking situations, restraining orders, etc., etc. So she was dealing with that. The male main character was just recently divorced. We learn all of this very early in the book, so not really any spoilers there. But it was really sweet. It's like forced proximity, kind of like this flirty, witty, humorous banter, as with all Abby Jimenez books. Like the banter is just hilarious. I was laughing out loud at some of like the comebacks between them, the puns, the wit, the references to like Reddit and social media and things like that. Like it's just very relatable and really funny. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I gave it 3 stars because it is a short story. I don't feel like I usually rate them over 3 stars just because there's not that much depth to them with them being so short. But in terms of short stories, I would highly recommend. This was really, really sweet. Now what we're jumping into picking our second book, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 options here. First, I have Truly Madly Deeply, and I'm supposed to be buddy reading this with a friend, so I'm not sure entirely if that's a great fit for a vlog, because I kind of have to crank these videos out, and I hate putting schedules on buddy reading. Buddy reading is such a complicated thing, you guys. Like, why is it so hard? It should not be that hard. But like different reading paces, different schedules, everything is so complicated. So probably not this one, but I will be reading this month. But it's on my radar, potentially. I haven't decided yet. I have Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I have only read Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. Didn't love it, but I want to give her one more shot before I like fully draw a conclusion about if I'm like a Penelope Douglas fan or not. So this is on my radar. I really like the cover. That's why I wanted this book. My friend actually bought this book for me, so I'm nervous but intrigued. I'm a little bit intrigued. Also on Goodreads, everyone I follow on Goodreads has either given this 1 star or 5 stars. So I'm like, I just don't know. And I have Lovely War, which is a historical fiction book that I have been saying I would read for probably close to a year now. It is on every monthly TBR and I never ever read it. I checked out the audiobook from the library, but something about like the accents mixed with the pacing and like the voices of the audiobook were really hard for me to understand, kind of. So that was tricky. I'm not going to listen to audio for this one, but it is a potential physical read for this video since it is pink. Then I have Darling Venom. I saw this in Larry Reed's like guide to reading dark romance. She said this isn't really like dark romance, but it's a great like dipping your toe in kind of like the darker genre. So I don't know anything about this, honestly. I think it's my first love ended in tragedy. My second began with his brother. So kind of like taboo, I'm guessing. I really don't know, but it's pretty. The cover looks scary, but kind of pretty. Then I have How to End a Love Story. I honestly know nothing about this book besides the fact that it's pink. That's all I'm gonna say. Probably won't be picking this one, but it was pink, so I grabbed it off my shelf. Beg, Borrow, or Steal. This is Sarah Adams' newest release. I am very, very hit or miss with Sarah Adams. I liked When in Rome. I did not like The Cheat Sheet. Practice Makes Perfect was just okay, so I don't know entirely the vibe. This is 2 feuding second grade teachers and neighbors, so a rivals to lovers romance. This sounds cute. It sounds really fun, and the cover is adorable, but I don't know. Lastly is Talking at Night, and this is a really pretty cover as well, but I will say this is a book I will need to read on audio because the dialogue in this book doesn't have any quotation marks, which is a absolute no for me. I cannot physically read that. So if we do choose to read this one, I will have to track down the audiobook somewhere, maybe buy it on Audible even, because I just can't with the no quotation marks around the dialogue. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? So that's the update as of now. I don't know where we're gonna go, to be totally honest. I'm leaning towards Darling Venom, Punk 57, or Talking at Night. Those are the 3 I'm thinking. I don't know. I really don't know yet. I will let you know when I know, but I'm gonna go. I have some errands to run. I have one more work meeting today. I'm going to hot yoga tonight. Lots on the to-do list, so I probably won't be reading until later tonight if I even get to it today. So I will definitely update you when I know where I'm headed, but I just don't know where that'll be yet. But that's the update. Definitely read The Fall Risk by Abby Jimenez. So, so cute. She just can do no wrong in my eyes. I am an Abby Jimenez stan. I adore her so, so much. I have not read one thing by her that I was like, oh, I didn't like that. So yeah, she's the best. Okay, bye. Hello. So I have an update. We decided where we're headed next with our reading, and I picked up Punk 57. So this is off to an interesting start. I feel like this happened with Birthday Girl too. Like, these books aren't overly long. They're like standard romance length, like 400-ish pages, 350. And it feels like I could read forever and ever and ever and not even make a dent. Like, I felt like I was reading for so long last night, and I looked at my Kindle and it was 8% of the way through, and I was like, you are joking me right now. The chapters are very, very long, which doesn't help, but I don't know. I was saying to my friends, like, there's something about Penelope Douglas's writing style that doesn't like click in my brain. Like something about the sentence structure, I don't even know. I sound like a literary scholar and I'm not. Like I'm not someone that critiques sentence structure or anything like that. But there's something about the way that she writes that just doesn't like jive in my brain. Like I have to read and reread paragraphs and they still don't like fully click. It's definitely just like a incompatibility thing. I don't think it's necessarily bad writing. It's just like, for me personally, I struggle with it and I'm not entirely sure why. So that's been difficult. The storyline though is intriguing. Like we have Misha and we have Ryan. Ryan is the female main character. Misha is the male main character. And in 5th grade, they are at schools close by, but like not the same school. And during 5th grade, they were like given this writing assignment to kind of like have a pen pal. And because their names are like, what's the word? Unisex? That's not the word. Like nondescript. They were pairing like boys with boys and girls with girls. So they thought that that's what their teachers were doing. That's what the teachers thought that they were doing, but they actually weren't, obviously, because we have Ryan, who's a female, and Misha, who's a male. And so they formed a bond through these letters over the years, and now they are seniors in high school, and they've been writing back and forth, and then suddenly Misha stops replying. So that's what's happening. And then at Ryan's school, there's Punk, which is, I think, the Punk 57. Punk, who is like spray painting random mysterious messages around the school. So that's like kind of a subplot in Ryan's life right now where I'm reading. So Misha and Ryan formed this bond for what, 7 years that is? Writing letters back and forth, never met in person, never saw each other's faces, never like FaceTimed or called or anything, just letters, but had a really, really special bond. And then suddenly Misha stops replying. And then also Ryan at her own school in high school now is kind of has like this mystery subplot of who this Punk person is that is writing, like basically graffitiing the school with like these messages about people. So that's where we're at as of now. I like am interested in the storyline, but I don't know. I'm just like not wanting to pick this book up. I think because it's dragging so much. And again, I can't totally pinpoint why it feels that way. It just is. So slowly but surely we are working through it. I am hoping it's going to pick up. I could see myself really enjoying it with the plot line and the storyline. Like I see so much potential and I could see myself really loving it if I can get into the writing a little bit more. So we will see where this goes. We are entering the weekend, so hopefully we'll have a little bit more reading time coming up. So fingers crossed that we can make some progress through this, and hopefully I come around to Penelope Douglas writing, because right now I'm struggling. I am struggling, but that's okay. I will let you know when I make more progress. I'm actually about to go book shopping, which I'm really excited. So yeah, that's what's on the agenda. But I wanted to touch base before I got too far in and had too much to say. So that's my initial starting thoughts on Punk 57, and I will let you know when I read more. Hello, you guys. Good morning. I just woke up, so ignore like the puffy, swollen morning face going on. But we have to talk about this because what the actual heck is this book? This is, I don't even have words for how much I hated this book. This was a 1 star. Like a solid 1 star. I tried to give it a 2 star because I was like, don't be mean. You never give 1 stars. Just like give it the benefit of the doubt. Like give it a little bump up to 2 stars. And I did it originally on Goodreads and I was like, no, like that's disrespectful to all my other 2-star books that I didn't like. This is on its own level. The male main character in this book just continued to get worse and worse and worse and worse. And I could not stand him. He called the female main character my least favorite word in the English language. The see you next Tuesday word. That was pretty much the last straw for me. I was like, I'm done. I am done. He also threatened to hurt her while holding scissors near her throat. Scissors. Yeah. I'm not opposed to dark, like taboo-ish romances, but when they're well done. And this was not it. This was not it. I don't even know if I have words for how much I dislike this book. There's like not one redeeming thing in this book. I also feel like it was very misogynistic, kind of. Like there was not one female friendship in this book. The women were simply used as like pawns against each other. There was no female connection at all. The women just instantly hated each other because they were women. And I hated that, honestly. No, this wasn't it. So 1 star on this one. I'm gonna see if I made any notes on my phone because I have like no thoughts. I just know that I hated it. Yeah, all I said is I'm not a grumpy fan even when they're not assholes. Like Grumpy Sunshine is not a trope that I genuinely enjoy. And this was like next level grumpy. And I had a good time. My highlight of this book was reading the 1-star reviews after I finished it. It was so funny. Someone just says, "Can I get a refund?" I think they misclassified the genre because that was not romance. What in the Wattpad? Romance, babe, this is straight up horror. If you ever see me pick up another book talk book similar to this, for the love of God, stop me. Yeah, so like at least I'm not alone in hating it, but that was not the vibe. Not the vibe. 1 star on that one. But I do know where we're going next, and that is Truly Madly Deeply by LJ Shen. And I've never read this author. Don't know much about this book. I know it's a second chance romance in a best friend's brother romance, and I know that it's long. It's like 500 pages, and I don't have the audio of this one, so we're going to be doing Kindle reading and or physical reading, and I'm pretty excited. This is the ARC copy, so the cover I think is a little bit different, but I'm pretty sure it's still pink. Like the real cover, I'm pretty sure it's still pink. The one on Kindle has like a man on the front, a shirtless man. Shocking, I know. But I hate that cover. So I'm pretty sure like the actual published cover is still pink. It just is a little bit different. But either way, my cover's pink, so it counts. We're counting it. I am excited to dive into this one. I, again, don't know a ton about it, but I'm going to be buddy reading this with a friend. So I'm excited to work through this. Buddy reading is always a challenge. One of us tends to zoom ahead of the other, inevitably. Not intentionally, it just happens that way. So we'll see how that goes. I will definitely keep you posted, but all I know for now is Punk 57, not for me. I am done reading Penelope Douglas. I'm just not a fan. And now we're going into Truly Madly Deeply, and we're gonna see how that goes. So I will keep you posted. I'm going to go like ice roll my face because I feel so swollen. I don't know what's going on. If any of you guys know why I'm chronically inflamed and chronically puffy, be my doctor because I'm not getting any answers elsewhere. So that's the update as of now. I will keep you posted as I read Deeply Madly Truly. No. What is it? Truly Madly Deeply. I cannot get that right for the life of me, but I'll update you. Hello, I just talked to the camera for like 10-15 minutes and I wasn't recording, so I was literally just sitting in front of a camera that wasn't even on, so that's cool. But I'm gonna try to remember everything that I was saying because I spent the majority of today so far reading, to be honest, and I'm on page 168, and I don't know entirely how I feel. So far, not loving this, not loving it, not disliking it per se, but I don't really like the grumpiness of our mailman character. I feel like I'm having a little bit of like a trigger response coming off of Punk 57 where he literally had like scissors threatening to hurt her, and I'm just not having the grumpy male energy. Like, I'm sorry, like I get enough of that in daily life. I don't need to read about it. I don't need to romanticize it in a book. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like that's not my favorite trope. It's really not. And sometimes Elsie Silver, I feel like, does a good job of like the grumpy, genuinely just being kind of grumpy but still being a sweetheart. This, so far at least, I'm not super duper far into it, but so far our mailman character just seems to be a little bit dramatic. I'm assuming there's a bigger looming conflict that we don't know about that's causing him to be so rude, but as of now, not loving his vibes. So essentially we have Cal and Ambrose, and they have a history, and Cal's best friend Dylan is Ambrose's sister. So it's like a best friend's brother romance. I think I said that in the last clip. And this is basically like a reconnection of all of them after there was a big blow up when Dylan found out about a instance between Cal and Ambrose, which is our prologue. So our prologue, I think they're 18 years old, and Cal and Ambrose get together. It's rather explicit in the prologue. We start off with a bang. But Dylan finds out and gets really angry, and then they're all kind of brought back together later in life in the same small town. Cal returns for her father's funeral, and yeah, they're all back together. I feel like I'm more attached to the friendship between Cal and Dylan and like the female friendship elements than I am the romantic relationship, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I'm definitely feeling like more of a connection between the female friendship than I am between like the romantic interest right now, which, I mean, it's fine. I just wish there was a little bit more romance that I was rooting for. So far, I'm not like super into it. I will also say like the speed at which Dylan forgave Cal, like it made it seem like this was this huge blow up situation, like broke their friendship apart, never talking to each other again. And Cal came back into her life and she just like barely groveled a little bit, like little drops of groveling. And Dylan was like, okay, it's fine. I just feel like it was such a big blow up to have such an underwhelming conclusion, which was a little bit weird to me, but whatever. I'm glad they're vibing. But yeah, I don't know. The whole friendship dynamic is a little bit weird. Also, our female main character has androphobia, I think is what it's called. A fear of men, basically, which I've never seen written about. And I did like a Google search and it's like a real thing, which I think is kind of a cool topic to cover because I never really see that talked about anywhere, or I've never read a book about that. So I was like, that's kind of an interesting way to like, I don't know, it's an interesting, what's the word I want? It's an interesting topic to center a book on, you know? I think it's cool. I know I made notes on my phone, so let me just look. I said the humor feels like it's trying too hard at times. It feels a little bit cheesy at moments, like the puns and like the wit and the humor and the banter feels almost a little bit like it's trying too hard to be pop culture-y or trying too hard to just be like funny. And it's like, okay, if anyone said that in real life, I wouldn't laugh. I would actually kind of cringe and be embarrassed for them, which is fine because it's in a book. But at the same time, like if you're actually picturing these situations happen, like not the vibe. So yeah, the humor is just a little weird to me. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. And I think it worked in that book because it was a Christmas, like cheesy, lighthearted book. And here, because it's not Christmas and cheesy, it's just like a little bit weird. Oh, another thing that's fun in this book, if you like mixed media and books, this is fun because we have chapters with like a chat forum. And so like some chapters are literally so short because it's like just the chat forum. And I'm buddy reading this with one of my close friends, and she said it reminds her of A Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff and Chad Michael Murray. And I loved that because like Princeton Girl 818 or whatever it is in the movie, and like the anonymous chat forum where they don't know who they're talking to, but they know each other in real life. That's like a fun added element to this book. So if you like mixed media in your books, that's like a fun little tidbit that you might enjoy if you pick this up. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I am enjoying it enough that I can sit down and binge it. You know what I mean? It's not a book that I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to read this. Not Punk 57, that's for sure. But I'm not loving it, not hating it. I'm just kind of middle of the road right now. I'm feeling very 3-star about it right now, but I'm only like under 200 pages in and we have 500 pages. So we will see where this takes us as I continue, but I wanted to update on my thoughts because I've spent the majority of today reading and I had a lot going through my brain. So I wanted to fill you in before I forgot everything I wanted to talk about. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all I had to say. I'm the queen of really wanting to talk about something and then forgetting to talk about it. But I do think that's it. I really do. All right, but that is the update. As of now, I have therapy in a little while. I have a virtual therapy session. So I'm gonna go hop on my call with my therapist and we'll see if I read more today. If I do, I will update you today or tomorrow with my thoughts and an update. Well, I am back with more grumpy bookish updates. I am not having a good time. I'm not having a good time. Am I the problem? It is so rare that I read back-to-back books that I'm like, this is like low-key feeling like a DNF. Am I the problem? Maybe I'm the problem. I'm not like totally hating it. I will say that. One thing that's really like sticking out in my brain, I don't know why my brain has latched onto this one detail, but our female main character keeps dyeing like the tips of her hair different colors based on her mood, and all I can think about is how absolutely fried the ends of her hair must be. Like, they were red, they were green, they were purple, they were yellow, they were all these things, and I'm like, why are you doing that? And also, like, I'm picturing that in my brain, and I'm like, girl, I just don't think that that's a vibe, but you do you, bestie. I don't know. It's something that my brain is like really nitpicky holding on to, like a tiny detail from this book that my brain is like grasping onto. I don't know why. There's also like a little bit of like a subtle mystery. I would definitely not say this is like romantic suspense. I don't feel like it's at that level, but there's like a subtle mystery subplot kind of going on. Basically someone hates our male main character, and so we're kind of like trying to figure out why he is so hated in this town. There are some reasons, like some obvious reasons, but it feels like there's something deeper than that going on. So we're kind of like figuring out that subplot. Yeah, I don't know. This man is redeeming himself a little bit. Like, he's kind of an acts of service king, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he does these little things. Like, he sent her like a, oh my god, is that a spoiler? He sent her something that was really sweet and like thoughtful, is all I'm gonna say. Yeah, now I'm like in my head, I'm gonna spoil things, aren't I? He's very acts of service-y. So if you're like an acts of service girl, you might really enjoy him. I think it's cute and I think it's sweet and I can appreciate it, but I feel like I'm a words of affirmation girl and he's just not really kind in the way that he speaks. So, not the male main character for me, but he's redeeming himself a little bit. He's a little bit less of a grumpy a-hole at this point. I put something in my notes on my phone because this was funny. It says, my inhibitions were falling apart quicker than a Shein outfit. And I was like, that is so relatable and so funny. Like, I have bought from Shein, I think like twice in my lifetime. And I was like, before I knew like the things around that brand. And I was like, oh my gosh, literally so accurate. You wear something once and you're like, oh my gosh, my shirt is on the floor because it fell apart. I thought that was funny. So that's the update as of now. I'm just feeling like this book is really long. I feel like it could have been like a 350 pager and we're like pushing 500 pages here. So I'm bored. I'm ready for it to be over. I desperately wish I had the audiobook, I'm not gonna lie, but I think I'm gonna crank the rest of this out today. I've been reading kind of all day. So I think I'm gonna try to get this done. And we'll see how the ending goes. Maybe there'll be like some big redeeming ending, but right now I'm feeling very 3-star about it. I think I said that last time too. Still feeling very mid about this book. This book just feels very mid. But yeah, that's kind of the updates. The female main character's hair is really the thing that's sticking to my brain. I need to like let go of that. I don't know why it bothers me, but it does. That is where we're at. There probably will be one more update and we'll kind of wrap up this video. I feel awful that I've been just like this storm cloud of negative energy with all these books that I'm reading. I'm just not feeling it. I don't know. I think I need to like get away from Grumpy Sunshine for a second because I'm just not having it. I think it's rare that it's done well. I think Liz Tomford has done it in the Windy City series and Elsie Silver has done it, and those are like the only two times that I'm like, yeah, I can get behind that Grumpy Sunshine. Not the vibe, not the vibe. When men are just mean for no reason, I'm like, okay, now I don't like you. Like, I'm not romanticizing you because you're an asshole, sorry. But yeah, I wish I had better news for you, but that's honest. That's where we're at. I'm excited to finish this book. I am not in the terms of like, I'm so excited to see the ending. Like, I'm excited to be done. I'm excited for it to be over. So that's my really positive sunshiny update. I am so sorry, but also not sorry at all because someone's got to keep it real and I'm always going to be real. So that's where we're at. I'm going to finish it and hopefully the ending pleasantly surprises me, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Okay, you guys, I just finished Truly Madly Deeply, and I'm still calling it Madly Truly Deeply, Deeply Madly Truly. I will never get the name right, and I don't really care to. I didn't love that book. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. I feel like it's like a solid 3 to 3.5 stars. I feel like it was way too long to begin with. I feel like 100 pages, 150 pages or so less would have been great. I think like around the 350 page mark would have been prime for this book. I feel like there was a lot of back and forth banter and plot line that wasn't really a plot line, but like things that were just unnecessary going on during this book. So I feel like it was just a little bit long and like drug out. And I also, both the main characters had character, like parts of their character that I really just didn't jive with. I think the male main character in particular, I didn't love his grumpy nature and just like some of his responses to things. I was like, I don't love how you're behaving. Like I just don't love your actions and like how you're presenting right now. The female main character, I think I liked her more so as a whole. She just had like some quirky things that were like, that's kind of odd, but like whatever, it's fine. As a whole, I just think I was bored. Like I reached a certain point in this book and I'm like, I just want this to be over. Like I am not actively against these characters. I'm not actively like disliking them, but I just don't really care. So that was kind of a bummer, but I feel like it could be a really great book for a certain type of person, and I'm just not that person. I don't think I'm like the target audience for this type of romance, this type of character, this type of genre. The writing felt a little bit beginner. I don't know if that's the right word. And like, who am I to critique an author's writing style? Like, I'm not an author, so it feels wrong to critique writing style. But I feel like it was almost like a compilation of all these different books that I read, and someone took pieces that they loved from all of them and then smashed them into one book. And it felt a little bit like disorganized at times and like just trying to fit things into the book to appeal to a certain trope or appeal to a certain preference or humor or like some sort of like made up guideline in a book based on other books that you have been read. Does that make any sense what I'm trying to say? I don't know if I'm making any sense, and I could be totally off base too. It's just kind of how it felt reading it from my perspective. So I mean, not phenomenal, not terrible. I think I rated it a 3.5 stars on Goodreads, but I might bump it down to a 3-star. I feel like I've fallen into the habit of rating like immediately when I finish a book, and inevitably I go back and I'm like, I was a little generous with that rating and I kind of bump it down. So I need to learn to like take a moment before I rate my books, but I get so excited to mark it as finished on Goodreads or Fable when I finish. And so I'm like, the second I read the last word, I'm like closing the book and going to my apps, and I need to like take a pause, take a beat, and decide on my rating so I'm not constantly changing my ratings. But I do feel like it is within like the 3 to 3.5 star range for sure. Yeah, we didn't have any phenomenal reads in this video, which is kind of a bummer. I would honestly say my favorite is the short story that I read by Abby Jimenez, and like I adore her, so I knew I would like that, but it was a short story, so like for that to be the best book of the video is kind of a bummer. But just my thoughts. I know a lot of people that love Punk 57, so maybe you're just a different type of reader. That's totally fine. But my personal take, really didn't like that book. Truly Madly Deeply was okay, and then The Fall Risk was really cute for being a short story. So like, it was fine. It was really adorable, worth the read, under 100 pages. You could read it in one sitting, and I think it's worth doing so. But I'm gonna wrap this up because we are just a few days out from Valentine's Day now, so I wanna get this edited and up for you guys in honor of the Valentine's Day season. Regardless of if I loved the books, I loved the covers of all of these books because they were pink and cute and adorable and yeah, fun covers. So, but that is all for this vlog, reading pink books for an entire week in honor of Valentine's Day. What is your favorite book that you have read with a pink cover? Comment down below. I know that's a super random question and you're probably like, Delaney, what the heck? Why does it matter? But it does matter. I want to know. But that is all for this video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure you're following me on all the things. They're always linked down below, and subscribed here so you don't miss any future videos. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye, book besties.